Hello everybody and welcome to Off Campus with Lance and Asher presented by FootJoy. I'm Asher Wildman. There's a lot of rules to the game of golf, and I'll be the first to admit I don't know all of them. But the USGA is very familiar with what the most common rules are that amateurs break. That's why today on Off Campus we get rule explanations and penalties for what the most common rules are that the amateurs are breaking today. Number 7.
Commonly is removing loose impediments, and that's any natural object that's in the hazard. If your ball is in that hazard, in the same hazard, you remove a loose impediment, you get a 2-stroke penalty for that. Like let's say that there's a few leaves behind your ball and you didn't ground your club, but on the takeaway, you remove those loose impediments on the takeaway. You finish, you're still going to get a 2-stroke penalty for hitting those loose impediments on your takeaway, not on coming down.
Number 6.
I think we talked a little bit about the ball overhang in the hole, in which the player is allowed enough time to get to the hole within reason, and then has 10 seconds to determine whether the ball is at rest. And if it then there falls into the hole, the player adds a penalty stroke to his score for the hole. So there's a disincentive to stand there for 2 or 3 minutes to see if it'll fall on the hole.
Number 5.
You only play a provisional ball for a ball that could be lost outside a water hazard or out of bounds. If, for instance, you have a ball that's unplayable, once you get out there, you can't use a provisional ball for that. So it's only for a ball that could be lost outside a water hazard or out of bounds.
Number 4.
It's advice. You can't ask anybody your method of making a stroke, determining your play, what club to use, what club did you use, etc. like that.
What are you hitting, Andrew?
Got a 7.
You might try hitting a 1 extra. I hit 7-iron earlier and came up short.
Yeah.
Very common in college or something like that. It's not unusual. What clubs you hit there, you know, to your teammate who really is not a partner, that you really can't do that. But it happens all the time.
Number 3.
You're not allowed to touch your line of putt, and quite often I'll see players that will walk up to the line of putt and take a practice stroke above their line of putt, which is fine, but you can't touch the line of putt. It really sometimes scares you when you see them do that and hope that they realize that they aren't supposed to touch the line of putt.
Number 2.
I don't think they quite understand the etiquette of keeping up with the group in front of them and just being prepared to hit their shot when it's time to hit their shot, and just playing at a good pace to keep the field in in order to play in a good pace of play and courtesy to their fellow playing partners.
Number 1.
But I think the rule that's most confused probably is the water hazard rule. And players are confused in that they can't make the determination or distinction between a red marked hazard, lateral hazard, or a regular water hazard, yellow marked hazard. And I think that that's probably the one that confuses them most because they don't know the options, whether it's marked yellow or red. If it's marked yellow, you can drop behind the water hazard, keeping that point where it last crossed the margin of the hazard between yourself and the hole. Under the lateral water hazard rule, those options are also available to you, but you can also drop it within 2 club lengths of where it last crossed the margin, if it's marked red. The additional option, of course, again under the lateral water hazard rule, is to drop within 2 club lengths, of course not near the hole, on the opposite margin, equidistant from the hole, from that margin where you last crossed. I think those are probably the distinction. They can't make the determination between those two rules.
Hope the rules and explanations help you out for the next time you tee it up. Just remember what gets 1 stroke and what gets 2 stroke, because that can be important, especially if you're having a friendly wager. All right, well, that'll do it for this edition of Off Campus with Lance and Asher presented by FootJoy. Be sure to check back Wednesday for College Weekly when we go all access with the Michigan State Spartans to find out how the women take care of business out in the Big Ten. I'm Asher Wildman. We'll see you next time.